98 Sports Talk here with a quick video on Minnesota Vikings. So, yes, Minnesota is hosting the Super Bowl this year, and so obviously if they beat Philadelphia, they will be the first team in NFL history to actually play in a Super Bowl that they've hosted, so it's definitely possible. I mean, I guess they got about a 50-50 chance, and if you look at the odds, Minnesota's favored by about 3.5, I think, right now. Technically, they've got a better than 50% chance of that happening. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, Minnesota's favored by about 3.5. Philly, is at home. They're a home dog, and I think the over/under is about 38.5 in this one. And I did a prediction video. You guys can go back and watch that if you want, but I'll talk a little bit about it. I think Minnesota's going to win this game. I think they're just a little bit more balanced on offense. Both defenses are really good. Minnesota's got I think a slightly better defense, but both of them are really good. And so I think Minnesota will, I don't know if they'll cover the 3.5. I'd be really nervous about the 3.5. If you could get it at 3, I would take that. But 3.5 kind of that extra half scares me there. The over-under total, the 38.5 where it sits right now, I'd take the under. You look at Philly and Atlanta last week, I think it was, 15-10 or something. I think that was the score. Only 25 points put up in that one. And historically, when Philadelphia has hosted a championship game, there haven't been many points scored in it, and I don't think there will be many points scored in this one either. I mean, you look at the quarterback matchup alone. I mean, it's the quarterback matchup we've all been waiting for, right? Case Keenum versus Nick Foles. I mean, it's like, what? If I knew how to edit videos, I'd do the cricket, sounds right now. But, I think, and obviously these guys are really backup quarterbacks. I mean, Keenum, I don't know, he might be a starter for the Vikings next year. Who knows? But obviously, I think Minnesota would prefer to have somebody else starting there if they could. So not exactly the the great quarterback matchup that we want, but Minnesota just seems a little bit more balanced offensively. I think they'll be able to run the ball. I think with Latavius Murray and with McKinnon. Although the Eagles do a good job of shutting down the run, they did last week against the Falcons. But I think Minnesota will be able to run the ball just enough. And with Diggs out there at the wideout, I think Keenum will be able to get him the ball. Obviously, he had that incredible catch to send the Vikings, moving forward. They really should have lost that game, to be honest. They kind of blew it in the second half. But Diggs said, well, I can't even say Diggs saved him. I mean, really, I forgot the name of the safety for the Saints, but he really blew that one and completely whiffed on the attempted hit / tackle or whatever that was. That guy was trying to do. I think it was Marcus Williamson or something. I don't know. But anyway, so I think Minnesota will be able to move the ball enough to get around maybe like 20 points or something like that. I think Minnesota's defense is going to shut down Philly's offense. I don't really see. I think Xavier Rhodes is going to match up against Alshon Jeffrey in this one. I think Xavier Rhodes will win that matchup. And I just don't see Philly moving the ball that much. I mean, I picked Philly to beat the Falcons. Obviously I was wrong there, but I just don't have a lot of confidence in Nick Foles and that Philadelphia offense. So I do, and obviously Minnesota's got a much better defense than the Falcons' defense. So I think Minnesota will pretty much shut them down. I mean, they shut down Drew Brees and the Saints for a half last week. I think they can shut down Philly. I just don't see Philly scoring over 14 points in this one, really. So as the week goes along, it's Friday now, so I'm thinking you're going to see something like a 20-13 game, something like that. Minnesota wins. I just don't see a lot of offense in this game for either team, and I definitely don't see a lot of offense on the Philadelphia side with Foles, and I just don't think they're going to be able to get it done. So I do think Minnesota is going to be the first NFL team to host and to play in the Super Bowl that they host. So we'll see what happens, though. But I do believe I would take the Vikings win, take the Vikings, take the under if you're betting on it. Again, if you guys haven't subbed, go ahead and sub. And if anybody's watching this video now and the next couple hours, I'm probably going to do a little live stream this evening. We can talk about this game and whatever else anybody wants to talk about.